Really?
Oh, sorry. That was just me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got something to tell you too.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, God.
It's good. It's good.
All I have,
When I left,
I have that too unless you're going. But if you haven't signed up for it, then you probably don't have it, because he had to make reservations. Yep.
You don't have it.
all free.
What is
That's
that?
the reason I never went up there before, is because it was all smoky and stuff.
You call Christensen?
Oh, and so we all meet over at
All right,
Tony's.
well, you don't have
Sure.
yours.
Yeah, and a bit of a cake and
No, it,
the
And
drinks.
you don't
different
have
in
this
there now.
either.
Steve's birthday. If you want.
No.
And an old tradition here.
What's
Yeah.
we went there no all much, and
But
when we did
we
go
said,
out, we didn't
Alex didn't call me, so I presume that.
Joe is very interested, so if there is an opening, consider him.
we
I
just-
think he's a good one.
and if we did go out, we'd always try and go someplace where they
Good
didn't.
to have another one.
Personnel meeting.
Now, they would love to have it there if they put it in.
Two Oaks. He's at a Undertaker's convention.
You know, people are so.
Oh, you girls ready?
You know how much better it smells in those places when you go there?
Whatever,
Exactly.
the benefit of the town.
We'll call this meeting of the Washera County Board of Supervisors to order, and we'll start with roll call. Prince.
Here.
Mr. Kim.
Here.
Mr. Kowski.
Here.
Mr. Reddy.
Here.
Mr. Downing.
Here.
Mr. Stein.
Here.
Otto.
Here.
Mr. Weiss. Here. Mr. Likeness is excused. Mr. Crawford.
Here.
Mr. Kirschner.
Here.
We'll stand for silent prayer and then the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we have some people signed up for public comment, and we'll start with Terry Dobb-Hockstead, who is our zoning and land conservation administrator.
Thank you. Yes, I am growing into a new position every day, and you do have a resolution on tonight for Mark's dedicated service, and I couldn't think of a better word than dedicated, because you all know he was pretty gosh darn dedicated. So that's one thing that's coming up on your agenda. As I've been moving into his office, I've been going through volumes of things, and I happened to find a Resorter article about the zoning office. We weren't merged yet then with the land conservation office, but about the zoning office from 1996, I'm sorry. And I wanted to hand it out to you because sometimes it's kind of interesting to read how things stay the same, but they really kind of change, but they're really not that different. And it never hurts to look back and see where you thought you were going and see if you got there. And the other thing you're going to be amazed at is Fred Gillerup has not changed a bit.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Thank you, Terry.
Okay, now we have David Meyer from Pine River. David?
Hello, thank you for your time. My name is Dave Meyer, and I live in Pine River, Wisconsin. I'm the president of the Oshkosh Area Local American Postal Workers Union. I'm here on behalf of our people and 11 of our people who live in Washera County, one including myself, and one who runs a business in Wild Rose. We're on here behalf of getting a resolution that we hope Yolks will pass down the road here. We met with the city last night of Wautoma. They want to take our mail from Oshkosh, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, and ship it to Green Bay. We all will end up with jobs, but not in this area anymore. Potentially 140 of us could go to Green Bay, Minneapolis, whatever, which means we have to move out of the county, some out of the state. So not only Waushara County suffer, the state of Wisconsin will suffer. And our biggest concern is the service will suffer greatly. We sort mail for 52 offices, any zip code with 549. Fond du Lac, Coloma, every direction there is 549 area. So what we're asking is, if you look over this resolution and get back with us if you want to, any changes. We've already have Neenah, Menasha, Fond du Lac City, Fond du Lac County, Oshkosh City, Winnebago County. We got people in Ripon tonight, and we're trying to get these resolutions passed. All they are is that we want to make sure everything is done fair and equitably. If this should happen, we realize the things that are going on. There's better ways we feel for the post office to save money than to move Oshkosh to Green Bay. If it has to be done, it has to be done. We want it to be done fair and equitably. We don't want the mail to go to Green Bay just because the Green Bay has the Green Bay Packers. I love the Green Bay Packers. I like Brett Favre too, but I don't want to go to Minnesota. So we're asking support. We already have Senator Feingold and Cole. There's a letter in here that I'll give to whoever, and you can pass them out later. Mr. Petri. And again, we just want to make sure this was done fair and equitable. We have our own website, phone numbers on these brochures. You can get hold of us at any time. Your service, we feel, will suffer greatly. My own service in Pine River. They want to ship our mail again. 85% of the mail that we process tonight in Oshkosh, stays in Oshkosh and then is sent up to the 549 area. What they want to do is send it all to Green Bay. It's additional 104 miles round trip. It's only looking for problems. We feel we get good service. Wautoma Post Office is part of our area local. And I love Waushara County. I drive to Oshkosh every day. I've been doing it for 30 years. People wonder why I do it, but because I like it here. And that's one of the only areas, you can make a little better income down there than you can in some places around here. So we are asking you, please, to support our resolution.
Leave that stuff on that table over there, and then the folks can take one as they leave.
Okay, thank you for the time.
Thank you, David. Now we have Tom Dalkey, our Highway Commissioner.
Good evening. I know how Terry feels when you take over and start going through drawers full and filing cabinets full, and there's some pretty nice treasures in there, some old kind of stuff I'll probably enjoy leading. Mark doesn't look much different either in there than Fred Gellerup, so he aged well. I'm here to promote our Food for All Fill the Dump Truck campaign. There's a brochure that's going around right now. The Highway Department, Human Services, and the Argus are mostly involved in this, and we're looking for other people and volunteers, and that'll be one of my pleas later on. What we're doing is we're challenging the community to fill a dump truck full of food. The Bug has got involved. The Chamber, Judy Downey, has been announcing it on the Bug. The Argus has been, it's been in the Argus. It's been in the Resorter. We're parking the truck or trucks at different locations throughout the county. They're listed on there. These posters are going to be in different businesses and schools for the month of October. And we're hoping that we can supply all 7 food pantries in Waushara County with some food here with this food drive. So if you see the truck, please donate some non-perishables. But also, if you're willing or interested in helping out, we have things to do, especially at the end when it comes time to packaging and distributing the food to the pantries. Human Services has some kids from their mentoring program that are going to man the trucks at certain locations. If anybody wants to man it for an hour or two at any of these, we'd sure encourage that. If you want to, I wish it was an election year and you could use that as an excuse to get votes or something, but that's not the case. So, but anyway, we're trying to get a lot of food. We're trying to get it in different areas. Those are only the ones that have signed up now. We can add areas. We've had a couple calls from R&M Motors, for example, who just saw it in the resorter, and they said, hey, can we park the truck there? So we still have openings for days through the month that we can park the truck. So tomorrow it's at the courthouse, and Thursday it's at the highway department, and then it's going to be at grocery stores, it's going to be at churches, R&M, like I said. So any help, if anybody's interested, let me know, or find one of those trucks and throw some food in it if you would. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Now we're going to have Deb Beringer, and she's going to explain our budget and what we proposed so far, and she'll give an explanation of it. It's very interesting what the explanation is here, because it comes out to on the debt service money, otherwise it'd be zero. So Deb?
Okay, so if you grab this sheet that I put in front of everybody, the top is just a recap, and it gives you from 2007 up to the 2011 proposed. And so what the
We don't have them down here.
There's 3 of us here that don't have them.
oh, they were, I gave them all to Everett.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Okay,
Big old F.
sorry.
Thank you.
Do you have enough there?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Use your ESP. Yes.
That was in my packet.
So, hey, you're cutting into my 3 minutes, guys. So the 2011 proposed, and what the executive committee, what they decided is to use the $15 million for the levy. That's where they started this. And so if you look, it would go up to $5.97 or almost 98 cents for the mill rate, and that allows $626,000 plus change to be put into debt service, because we have a lot of bonding projects that are we're being faced with. And just Donna Teschner put this together for us. And then just for an example, I wanted her to show you, if you change that mill rate by 5 cents, it would lower the debt service by $126,000. So just to give you an idea. And then if you go to the next 2 pages, or 3 pages, basically it gives you an overview of what happened in each department, of what their increases were, where they stayed the same, and it gives a brief explanation of what the changes were. The first 2 pages are all Fund 100, and that's where the majority of the departments fall. So if you add all the Fund 100 changes together, the entire impact is $60,705. If you look at the other funds, they were all kept at zero, other than debt service. So basically, the majority of the increase in the levy is to get ready for bonding, if we are forced to do bonding with all the projects that we're facing. So this is just to give you a rough idea, give you some time to think about things. Donna is working frantically to get all the detail ready for you, and I think she'll probably have that pretty soon. But this is just a synopsis that she was kind enough to prepare for you. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. And then the other item I have is, recently I told you about the CDBG grant that we had applied for, the $650,000 to use for housing rehab and housing purchase. We did get that money, so it's $650,000, and Norm received the confirmation letter the other day. We are planning on working with CAP Services to administer that money. Chris Pethick from CAP Services in Stevens Point will be having different meetings. She's going to have a meeting for contractors to kind of explain the program and help people get certified in lead abatement and asbestos. And then, you know, we'll start getting that word out that we do have this money available for people. So anyway, thank you. Did I do it in 3 minutes?
Sure did.
All right.
Yeah, and also got a letter from John, and John is, I'm writing this letter of resignation with Nick's demotion. I've been truly enjoyed being the Waushara County Clerk for 18 years. My intention is to remain in the office through January 2 of 2011. I respectfully suggest that Deputy County Clerk Melanie Stake be appointed to fulfill my term of office, which expires January 6, 2013, per State Statute 1721, Parent 3. The County Board appoints a successor for the residential period of an unexpired term of a county clerk. Melanie is a well-qualified and dedicated employee in whom I am very confident. Mel can and will handle county clerk's duties in a frugal, admirable, and timely fashion. If possible, please consider making this January 3, 2011 effective date appointment during the November 10th, 2010 County Board meeting. Such a timetable would thus initiate a methodical search process in order the staff would be ultimately become a vacant deputy county clerk position. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Supervisors for your cooperation and consider throughout my tenure it's been a memorial and rewarding experience. Your humble public servant, John Benz. So John will have 2 more meetings with us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, we have an amended agenda, and we did a motion to approve it.
I
Motion
will
by
make a
Donna
motion to
Collada,
approve.
I will second
seconded
that
by
motion.
Mrs. Krentz. Any discussion on the amended agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been approved. Minutes of our September 14, 2010 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second. Seconded by Bill Downey. And there's a,
One small correction on page 2, under the tower concept paragraph, it refers about 4 or 5 pages, 4 or 5 lines down, refers to County Road MM. It actually should be 17th Drive.
so we got a motion and a second, and with that correction, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been approved. No old business, new business. We'll start with our County Veteran Service Officer, Bill Rosenau. Welcome, Bill.
Hi, thank you. Appreciate the chance to get up and talk again. Most of you I've already met, but for those that haven't, I'm just going to quickly introduce who I am, where I come from. Like I said, Bill Rosenau, born and raised in New England. Lived there until I was about 17 years old. Joined the active duty Navy. Did that for about 8 years. Sailed around the world. Involved in combat operations off the coast of Libya in 85 and 86. Little brief hiatus as a civilian. Did that for about a year and a half and realized that I already had half a career invested, so I joined the local National Guard here in Wisconsin. After about 4 years of a drilling reserve status as a heavy anti-armor infantryman, a full-time job fell in my lap. Pretty exciting job. It was an experimental position with the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Basically, the general said, "We're broken, fix us." He hired 6 people, and we had managed to drop the attrition rate in the Wisconsin Army National Guard from about 43% to 28% in 2 years. Pretty fun when the military gives you carte blanche to fix the military. It was an exciting job. I stayed on full-time with the Wisconsin Army National Guard for about 12 years, most of that in the infantry, combat operations in 2005, 2006 in Iraq, Group of 700 of us put a little over 5.3 million miles of convoy security in 1 year. I was just thinking about this today. I got in touch with Sergeant Major Schiermeister. He was the operations sergeant major at the time. In that 1 year, 700 guys, we filled up 13 5-inch binders with serious incident reports. I don't know what brought that to mind. I have one gentleman, a veteran from the 127th coming in that served with us, and I just wanted to see, what kind of action we saw. And boy, yeah, so pretty interesting. I'm the County Veteran Service Officer. What that means, it means I'm not the VA. It's the VA's job to hold on to their benefits. It's my job to try to help veterans make the VA let those benefits go. They are very good stewards of the government's money. Just put it that way. That being said, I assist veterans in the county in getting access to state and federal benefits, as well as referring them to any other resource I can find to help them out of any situation they're in. Right now, we have about 7,000 veteran records in across the street in the Veteran Service Office. A good deal of those are deceased. We have, I'd say, 3,000 to 4,000 active records right now. I'm waiting on this new census because the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, going off the 2007 census, said we had about 2,700 veterans. I've got 500 open cases right now. If I only have 2,700 veterans, that's just impossible. I'm thinking we're in the range of 3,000, 3,500, that range of active veterans in the county right now. So far this year, although we don't put a lot of cash directly into the county coffers, the economic impact of the office is pretty big because we put the money into the pockets of people living right here in Waushara County. Since January 1st, we've put a little over $400,000 into the pockets of veterans just in the form of back checks for compensation and pension. I've helped veterans apply for a little over $81,000 in direct state grants from the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. Federal benefits in the pockets of veterans, not in the form of back checks, somewhere in the range of $11 million. Looking at alleviating the stress on other county departments, VA Healthcare has offered a little over $5 million in care to Waushara County veterans. This year so far, the office has picked up about 110 brand new veterans, veterans who've never been in the office before. Only a handful of those are returning Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. The preponderance of those is actually Vietnam veterans and Korean veterans coming out for the first time. The economy is really pulling some folks out of the woodwork. We've got, I just pulled up the report today. This year, since January 1st, between Dawn and I, we've managed to conduct 7,346 actions, meaning a form here, a form there, an office visit, a home visit. That's kind of a lot. And I wonder why I'm so busy. That's pretty much what I see as the impact of the office, is the ability to get new veterans in and give them a hand. That's why I'm there. That being said, I just kind of want to throw up some talking points, maybe introduce some ideas, and maybe start a conversation if you have questions or observations about what's going on in the veterans world. Basically, there's three main branches of the Veterans Administration. There's the Veterans Benefits Administration. They're the ones with the purse strings. They're the ones who actually spend the money, put the money in the pockets of the veterans. There's the Veterans Healthcare Administration, totally separate animal, if you think of it like a three-headed hydra. The Veterans Health Administration, all they do is provide health care to veterans. A lot of folks think that they go to the Veterans Health Administration and that starts their medical processing to get the benefits. They never even talk unless I make them. So, and then of course there's the dark side of the veterans, which is the burials and cemeteries. which is getting far too much business right now, I think. Yeah. Some of the talking points I kind of wanted to bring up. One of the trends I'm seeing in Waushara County is we do have a fairly indigent population, and the jobless and homeless rate is increasing incredibly. We're very lucky in Waushara County to have the Veterans Assistance Program in King and the Veterans Assistance Center in the VA Medical Center in Toma. I don't know if you know it, but the King Veterans Assistance Program, being a homeless veterans program, was the only veterans assistance program in the state of Wisconsin to receive federal funding this year. Everybody else was cut off. So we're really lucky. It's only a 26-bed facility, but they do basically a homeless share with COTS in Appleton and another facility in Oshkosh. A lot of talk in the news about post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide rates, mild traumatic brain injury. I think it's so much talk that the idea is out there in the world that every single veteran is mentally disabled. It may be true in a few of our cases, but PTSD is a natural reaction to a person being in a unnatural situation. It can hit different people at different levels, and some truly do need a lot of assistance. But I see it actually as a stigma that's getting in the way of people actually employing veterans, because they feel that coming back from Iraq, this guy can't be right. I just kind of want to lay that to rest. I think I deal pretty well with the public. So, and I was there. So, if anybody has questions about PTSD, I did this at the Rotary, and it actually that one subject brought in a lot of questions. Some of the hurdles to employing veterans, and please share this throughout your communities. Like I said, PTSD shouldn't be a hurdle. Those folks have help, and with help can recover darn near fully. Multiple deployments. Yep, fact of life, folks. It's going to happen. We've got a fairly large young soldier population with the 32nd Brigade in the state of Wisconsin, and they are going to be tapped heavily over the next several years. Pretty much guarantee a deployment every 3 years for those young men and women. I'm going to try to offset that with some of the benefits of employing veterans. I'm going to take right from my own experience in Iraq. The leadership positions, the responsibility that was put on the shoulders of these young men and women is incredible. We're talking the lives of tens, if not hundreds of people at a time at the age of 20, 21, 22. Millions of dollars worth of equipment. Their ability to act and react to change, to make snap and good decisions is an extremely valuable trait for any employee, any employer. I apologize. At every level of military training, they're trained in leadership. These tasks translate across the board. So, yep, you might lose them for 6-9 months, a year, but when they come back, they are definitely an improved worker with a larger skill set. That being said, post-deployment mindsets takes a little bit of work on both sides for that person to re-civilianize themselves. You see somebody who is used to making a snap decision, saying, hey, I need this now, and it's hard to get out of that mindset. That can be valuable depending what the job is, but it can also be a hurdle. And some of the stuff in the news lately, the new post-traumatic, the relaxation of PTSD standards. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. Raise a hand, anybody? I've been getting some feedback in my office that, hey, what are they doing? They're making it easier for veterans to fraudulently submit claims for post-traumatic stress disorder. I'll tell you what, this is not the case. Nobody wants to come up and say, hi, I have a mental problem. PTSD is actually the least claimed or least fraudulently claimed condition of any of the presumptives. They're estimating a little less than 1/10 of 1% of all PTSD claims are initially put in under fraudulent circumstances. It's a pretty small amount. The Agent Orange presumptives that are currently on the Hill waiting to be passed, Senator Webb kind of got in the way of those, but not really. I'll explain that. August 30th, 3 new Agent Orange presumptives were put into the Federal Registry. That was ischemic heart disease, Parkinson's disease, and a variety of hairy B-cell leukemias, which they say are caused or aggravated, or the conditions are aggravated by exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. Once this actually added to the Federal Registry, the Senate has 60 days to, or Congress has 60 days to review it, to say, we think this is frivolous, pull it out. That's automatic. Senator Webb made a big name for himself by standing up and saying, hey, we need 60 days to review this. The way it looks right now, it's probably going to pass without a problem. Secretary Shinseki, the Secretary of the VA, got up there and gave a very, very good speech to Congress on why these presumptives should pass. He pulled it off the almighty dollar and put it on the science and said, hey, we can prove that these conditions are, the prevalence of these conditions is increased in veterans who are exposed to dioxins. It's science. The laws in place right now say, in fact, the congressional laws say, I have to do this. And he threw it back at Congress and said, unless you want to change the law again. So it's going to pass. Right now, these are sitting at the VA regional office in Milwaukee waiting to, we have a ton of claims in. I'm thinking we're going to be looking at, and some of these go all the way back to 1985. We've got a lot of money coming into the pockets of veterans right now. Probably in the November, December timeframe, which will be really nice for Christmas. In that same tone, they just published 10 new presumptives for Southwest Asia and Afghanistan service. A lot of them are diseases I can't even pronounce, but it's mainly illness-based from vector-borne diseases, mosquitoes, West Nile virus, that type of thing. Those are right now in the process of being placed into the Federal Registry, and then we're looking at, I think, another 271 days for the VA to turn it into policy. So another year or so, and we're going to actually see claims for the veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. And a big one in the news, veterans insurance. Anybody see any of the news on Prudential making 5% on veterans life insurance and only handing them back 1.5%, passing that on to the investors? Nobody's seen that in the news at all. Wow.
We believe you, though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was all the furor at the meal sites for a few weeks. So I just did a little bit of digging and realized, how do insurance companies and banks make their money? They invest the money they have, make a bunch, and pass on a little bit of that to the investor. It's business as usual. The fact that it was happening to veterans, it got everybody up in arms. That's just what insurance companies do. So if you did hear about that and are up in arms, think about that piece for a second. That is about what I have. Unless you have questions of me, questions about my office, where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Any questions for Bill?
I'd just like to say that Bill's getting acclimated into the area pretty well. He's joined Rotary, and he's an avid hunter and fisherman, and he's just getting into the community very well.
Couldn't have picked a better place to settle, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Okay, our next is discussion and possible action. A motion to approve East Central Wisconsin Mutual Aid Compact for County Emergency Management Assistance. And I think Ruth would like to say a few words on this.
Maybe. Why not?
It's a mutual aid agreement that emergency management had done. I think we did one a few years ago. This is the updated version. In case there's a disaster, we can call upon neighboring counties to come help us. They can call upon us to come help them. There's no guarantees. We don't have to go if we don't have people that are able to respond. Our employees would always still be our employees. So it's just kind of a mutual thing among the surrounding counties for emergency management, disaster type things.
We have a motion to approve it. Motion by Everett Eckstein. Do we have a second to the motion? Second by Larry Crawford. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of that say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been approved. Next one is the consideration possible action on the following resolutions.
Well, we got resolution 35-1010, an acknowledgement of Mark Schumacher's dedicated service to and retirement from the Sheriff College.
Motion by Kirschner, second by Bill Downey, to accept dedicated service and retirement to Mark Schumacher. Any discussion?
He's hunting right now, by the way, out in Montana or someplace.
Colorado.
All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been approved.
Then we got resolution 36-1010, a resolution to authorize a request for legal expense coverage from Wisconsin County Mutual Insurance Corporation.
We have a motion.
I'll move to approve the
Motion by
resolution.
Dennis Wade. We have a second to the motion.
Second.
Second by Donna Colada.
Okay, this one I'm prepared to talk about.
Okay.
As you know, when somebody files a notice of claim against the county, the first step is to send it to our insurance company to determine if they have coverage. When we had submitted a claim recently, they told us that they also had this new thing that they were offering for, to help assist counties in some legal work that was not covered by our county liability insurance. So if we get a claim against us and it's something that's not covered under the liability insurance, they can still appoint counsel and pay for part of the legal fees for us. We also would get their reduced rate with the attorneys that they contract with instead of having to retain counsel on our own at our own dollar. They would pay part of that. They would also cover things like collective bargaining under this. If there is a grievance arbitration where perhaps I'm involved in conducting the investigation or representing one of the department heads and wouldn't be able to represent the committee at a hearing, they would be able to help us with that. They could potentially help us in a case with like the Board of Adjustments, where if I'm representing the zoning department in a decision that they made and can't represent the Board of Adjustments, or if there was some other type of conflict for me, or if there was something that was outside of my comfort zone where it needs a specialized attorney and I wouldn't be able to represent the county to the extent that needed to be represented. So it doesn't cost us any money up front, but if a situation were to arise, they would help pay some of the legal fees up to $50,000 a year. Plus, they would also get their reduced rate. So all it takes is a county board resolution to be covered under this. If we use it, we use it. If we don't have to use it, great. So that's what this is about.
Okay, we got
Not
a,
have to pay for this insurance?
No, this is what they offer us as part of our liability package. Is another
Rider
endorsement.
like? Okay.
okay, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been approved.
Then we got resolution 37-1010, resolution authorizing 6 additional hours per week for a DA specialist position.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion by Donna Colada,
Motion.
second by Mrs. Krantz. This is a roll call vote. Any discussion on the motion?
I can just add that the fiscal impact of this for 2011 would be $6,500, and that was already worked into the district attorney's budget request. So that's why this is before you tonight, before the budget gets finalized.
This is not a new person being, being hired or anything like that. It's someone who currently works in another department who has 6 hours that they can use for this particular thing, because there's I understand there's a lot more recording and so on going on with the district attorney's office, and that the caseload has increased dramatically over the last couple of years.
Any more discussion? Okay, we have a roll call vote.
We start with Mr. Weiss.
Aye.
Mr. Likeness is excused. Mr. Crawford.
Aye.
Mr. Kirschner.
Aye.
Mrs. Krantz.
Aye.
Mr. Tim.
Aye.
Mr. Yosky. Mr. Weddy.
Aye.
Mr. Downing.
Aye.
Mr. Eckstein.
Aye.
Mrs. Plata.
Aye.
It passed. Now we've got some appointments. Transportation Committee, Coordinating Committee, Sarah Clark, Watoma. And Veteran Service Commission, Albert Christensen, Watoma. Those are 2 appointments. We need a motion. Motion by Larry Crawford, second by Mrs. Krentz to approve. Any discussion on them? Hearing none, all in favor of that say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's been approved. Suggested item for next month, we'll have it on there for the county clerk, the appointment at that time. Anything else? Moved to adjourn by Everett Eckstein. Do we have a second? By Joe Piasky.
Just having too much fun.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Bill, are you going to this thing?
Meeting tomorrow morning?
Don